Hello, I'm Skip Yolberg, Chief Executive Officer of Grant Memorial Hospital.
We are excited to serve you with our newly renovated private inpatient rooms, comprehensive rehabilitation services, state-of-the-art imaging suite including 3D mammography, the only mother-infant care center in the Potomac Highland region, specialized clinics such as orthopedics and general surgery, and now our new infusion and cancer center in partnership with WVU Cancer Institute. To all our friends, thank you for choosing Grant Memorial Hospital.
Welcome once again, Explore Grant County. JR here with you, and this is part of our election coverage. With me today, my guest is Jared Alt. Jared, how you doing?
Going good, you?
I'm doing terrific. Thank you for coming and spending some time with us today. Why don't you give the people just kind of a little bit of background of what you're running for? If you want to explain the districts also, because I know there could be some confusion on that, so I'll let the floor be yours and help you out if you need. So
sounds good. As I said, Jared Alt running for the current open seat for the Grant District on the Board of Education. For those of you who don't know, there are 5 seats on the Grant County Board of Education, and I am running for one of the open seats to support and for the Grant District.
Okay. And there's Grant, Union, and Milroy.
Correct.
And what we have for this election is Milroy and Grant are the 2 seats that we're filling this time.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay. So what's kind of your platform? What are you running on? What do you hope to change? What are you looking for to be part of the Board of Education?
Honestly, it's I'm not a politician. I'm a citizen running for a political office, but at the end of the day, the election is on May 10th, and May 11th, I'm still going to be who I am. On the signs that you'll probably see around the community, you'll see at the bottom, one community moving forward together. And one thing that I feel that we all have learned in the last especially 2 years is the fact that it's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day things and the struggles of what may come that we can't control, but at the end of the day, we got to figure out how to move forward. And I feel that if you work together to do that, you're going to be a lot further ahead.
Okay. Looking at the past couple of years and all the challenges that we've had, and COVID was something that we weren't expecting.
Right.
Is there something or a decision or a policy that you would look back from the other board members and you would be like, I think if I was elected, I'd like to change that policy?
I do know that COVID could be almost considered a cuss word anymore. It seems like if you want to, hand in hand, it's just ridiculous the amount of division that has caused, honestly. But I do feel that I'm looking back, there were things that probably could have been better explained from both sides. And again, it comes from the fact of you can either decide to work against each other, or you can try to work with each other. Because, again, like you said, no one knew it was coming. No one had dealt with that before in our generation. So I really look back and I really feel that, there's a lot of arguments that didn't have to happen. And going forward, while I'm not saying that one side should dictate the other, everybody has their own life to live and decisions to make. So that's kind of how I feel.
So let's go into that question then, because that's one of them. As of right now, the day that we're shooting this video, the mask mandate for Greene County Schools has been lifted.
Right.
I did an interview with Superintendent of Schools, Mitch Webster, and he went over the new policies behind that. So my question is, because I just kind of have a feeling that COVID is something that is going to be like the seasonal flu, seasonal cold, every fall, winter. Right. We're going to go back into another cycle of it. Mm-hmm. What's your position on with the masks, especially now since the health department has released that there's only 2 masks that are effective at all, surgical and N95. Literally anything else they said has 0% effectiveness. So what's your thoughts on that? Do we have to equip all the kids with those type of masks, or is it best just to let people make their own decision? Well, what are your kind of thoughts on that?
I feel like you could sit all day and draw a pros and cons list. Again, each side has opinions about them. Personally, from my personal life perspective, is my mentality has been, I've been overweight my entire life. But all of a sudden you're concerned about my health. I mean, honestly, it's just
Here's another cheeseburger. Wear your mask with it.
Yeah, I mean, that's where I'm like, now you're concerned about my health. And maybe that's because, it may have an effect on yours. So that's the only reason you care. But in terms of the mask, I hate them in terms of wearing them. Obviously, I think most people really do. But again, it comes down to, I really feel that it's, as an adult, it's your choice if you choose to wear it or not.
And I think that was where some of the issue. Now, I understand at the beginning,
Right.
This came down from Jim Justice. Still, let's clarify that it was never a law, but it came down as you need to wear.
Right.
But then it was lifted, and then it became a Board of Education superintendent choice to mask our kids. So we just have to make sure that everyone is aware of that it was no longer a mandate from the state of West Virginia. They lifted the mask mandates.
Right.
And as you had said, the COVID has became almost a 4-letter word to everyone. I think that what do we do then with our kids being behind now because of the masks, especially our young kids who might need it? They might need to see lips to be able to see how to form words. I mean, it's something that we have to think about in the future. Are we hurting our kids more than helping our kids?
I feel you definitely do. My wife's a school teacher, and we've discussed it. And especially at the younger generation, younger ages, they where they are learning that. I've heard, not really on her end so much to where, we just discussed how important it is, like you said, to be able to see the lip to learn how to pronunciate. But I believe you asked, how do we move forward going forward to fix that? Basically, I honestly, I've felt all along that these kids still belong to their parents. So therefore, my opinion is that, if you think your child needs to wear a mask, by all means, wear one. Same thing with you as an adult. But then again, I don't think that it's the school system's thing I don't feel that the school system should put anything in place, nor anyone put in place for anyone, adult or child, to have to wear something like that.
So you're kind of going with the parents actually should be the people that raise and make the decisions for their kids.
Amen. My parents raised me.
Yeah.
I mean, they're the ones that made decisions for me. And so I'm fully for the parents raising their children.
Okay. What do you think going forward is going to be one of the biggest problems for Grant County schools? Something that you could look at and say, if I get elected, I think we should address this.
Honestly, the division between the community, parents, and the district, the board.
How do we do that? How do we get the divisiveness to kind of subside?
As someone here today, it would be easy to say things that would win votes. But this may sound, this may lose a few, which I'm not here to gain votes. I'm here to be me and tell you about myself. But I truly believe that there has to be accountability on both sides, because there are things, I am sure there are things that as a school district that can be improved. But I also know in the community realm, there are things that can be improved as well to cause that division to be, again, while working together, talking things out, you'll get a lot further ahead than just causing arguments between the two.
Okay. One of the big topics, and it wasn't a landslide by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, it was a fairly large vote, but the levy, it wasn't like it was, 3,000 to only 100 against. There was, it was close. The one thing that I hear in the community, one of the big questions is, was it worth I think it was 5%, and if I'm wrong on that, I apologize, but to let people get into the games for free. What are your thoughts on that? Was that worthwhile? Could that money have been used elsewhere?
Personally, I feel that something like that probably could be handled more so from the school district itself, more so than a levy. I feel that if the school district themselves could afford to in their budget, maybe where the money's going from the admissions, I don't know the policies of what they can and can't do with the money per se towards that, but if it's to help the booster programs, things like that, then I think by not charging an admission, I'm sure that it may encourage more people to attend. I would like to think, which in turn should be a good atmosphere for kids and adults to come to. So again, like I said, I don't feel that admission to a game, you're still kind of paying for your admission, if you know what I'm saying.
Well, actually, I guess everyone is kind of paying in the county, paying for the admission to the game.
Exactly. So, I mean, that's just my take on that.
There's so much going on in the news today, and they're all very poignant and hot topics that we're going to be covering. And the one is let's be honest, Virginia was a blue state and is now red, I feel, because of this one major topic. And that is what happened in Loudoun County with the young boy that said he was a female and went into the female restroom and then proceeded to, I guess we have to say, allegedly rape a young lady. I know the law says that is permitted. How do we protect our kids still? How do we protect our young ladies?
Again, obviously, like you said, it's a very touchy subject, I guess you could say. It really is.
It is.
But again, what you allow is what will continue. I've always been a firm believer of that. And at the end of the day, I myself, like I said earlier, when it comes down to May 10th, May 11th, I'm still going to be me. And what I'm going to say on this is how I feel. But May 11th, and if I am elected into this position, that does not change the fact that one day I know that I'm going to have to stand before God for every word I say and every action I do. So therefore, His standards are what I'll use. And again, if I'm asked in a vote, then essentially you're asking me for my thoughts, essentially my opinion, my standards, to make a decision of what I feel is best for the children of Grant County.
And if you're elected, obviously people are hearing your message, and so you're doing the will of the people that elected you too, is something that we have to remember also.
You're right. And you asked me at the beginning of this, which district I'd be supporting, and I fully believe that the majority of the citizens in the district, especially that I'm running to support or to represent, would agree with me.
Okay. Another one, I told you, in the news. Bullying is a very, very big topic. I had Mitch Webster on. I don't know if you got to see the interview, and we do thank Superintendent Mitch Webster for coming on. He explained what the policy was, what bullying actually is, so we kind of know what those things are now. How do we combat it? What's something we can do to stop it? Since we've identified what it is, how do we stop it?
I actually did watch that, and I actually don't agree with one thing that was said. The example that was given,
mine,
not on yours.
Okay,
but whenever he was reading, I guess by the standard, and this just shows where it's a thing according, I guess, to like a definition, I guess, of bullying. Because again, I said earlier too, I've been overweight my entire life. I'm not unaccustomed to bullying. I was bullied, most of my school career.
And I'm not doing this offensive, but that was my example that I gave to him. I said, "Oh, you're too fat. You can't play in sports." Is that bullying?
Right. And I believe, if I remember right, by the definition, he said no.
It wasn't. Yes.
Right. But I can't help but think, in the world we're living in today, an adult would call that body shaming.
That's true.
So if it's considered bullying for adults, then why would that not be considered bullying for children? And I believe you asked, how do we combat? And
So how do we stop it? Like, what can we do?
I believe one of the biggest things you can do is again, I think he mentioned it too. You try your best to oversee every aspect, every moment, the best you can. But I think one of the largest things to help is again, this comes from a personal experience, is kids need to be able to trust teachers and faculty that they know and they feel they can go to about that situation. But I'm going to tell you that I also feel that it's one thing to say you can trust me, but it's another thing to show that you have their trust.
So how do we do that? Because kids are very attuned to pick up someone when they're disingenuous. Mm-hmm. They have a BS meter. They're very good at it. So how do we show them, I'm here, I care, you can tell me if you have a problem?
I think it first starts at the board level, knowing who you hire. Hire good people. I know there's a teacher shortage. There's a shortage of everything today. Yeah. But it comes down to hiring good people and knowing the people that you have in those positions. And then furthermore, you can go on to, I'm sure there's training out there, but bringing it to a level to where they understand the fact that, let's face it, there was numerous times, I very rarely said anything about getting bullied,
And I brought that up to him. I said, because what about the person that sits there and takes it and never tells the teacher? What do you do about that?
I remember back then there was a saying said, see something, say something.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I can tell you too that that's where the values and the right upbringing of other children, sometimes they would say something if they see something. So I think that's a very good thing to instill in the others, because just because that person's scared to come forward, sometimes if they have a good friend to rely on, maybe that kid will say something for them or encourage them to come forward themselves.
So it's really those that have a voice, are not afraid of speaking up, need to speak up if they hear something in the hallways or playground or whatever, bus.
Yeah. And you need to I feel like they need to make sure too, is it's easy to, let's face it, there are things that get brought up that are not necessarily bullying, and I'm sure there's a lot that goes on. It's just like, and then the teachers hear it nonstop, it's just little things. But I feel like too, it's easy to write off those little things, but when you do write them off and you don't pay attention and at least show them that it's okay, they came to you, then when it is a big deal, they're likely not going to come back to you.
That's a good point. Mm-hmm. Another final tough question for you. Hopefully it's not too hard, but I'm sure you've been keeping up with the debate of the CIS, See Communities in School. What are your thoughts on that? Is there a way we can put parents' minds to ease? Should their minds be put to ease with it? What do you think?
I kind of go back to the interview with Mitch, and he had said concerning communities and schools at this time, well, I don't know if he said at this time, but there is no curriculum being taught in Grant County schools along with this program. And as of right now, you have good things happening from it. And I'll say I fully support Grant County's community being directly involved in the lives and the needs of Grant County children. And what I mean by that is I could list you tons of names of people, churches in the community that are readily available and are actually seeking people, children, families that are in need in our community. But a lot of times they come up with a very short list, because I can tell you as well from driving school bus in Grant County, the kids who a lot of times truly don't, or truly do have needs, they aren't the ones that are going to come asking for it.
Yeah.
they're the ones that are kind of getting, pushed, just going through and just kind of going through the system and kind of get overlooked a lot of times.
Well, I'll let you know, we have in our church, for example, we have a clothing room. It's called the Helpings of Love clothing room. Adults, kids, clothes, women's clothes. I mean, and it's like sometimes we're out there like, just tell us.
Exactly.
I mean, let us know a family in need where we're here to help. And and if I'm putting words in your mouth, you can correct me. So what I'm kind of gathering is that you would like to see the community, Grant County, be involved in the schools. Doesn't necessarily have to be the government.
Exactly.
Which is where the money's kind of coming from, but it's funded by businesses from what I understand.
Right.
So
yeah, because you wouldn't have to worry about if there's an agenda behind it if the community, again, work together to move forward together, because work hand in hand. Now, I get the fact that you can't go out and publicize children's information. I completely understand that. And I don't know, maybe they do have it, but I do know that, again, my wife teaches in Hardy County, and I believe that down there they have the room like you just described. They have a closet like that set up in the school. So therefore, the children can, and maybe they have it in Grant County, I don't know. But if they don't, that's a great thing to have. Somewhere in the school to where the kid can come, get the clothing, simple toothpaste, things like that.
It can even be as simple as if a teacher sees little Johnny in the middle of winter not come in with a jacket, give a call to one of the organizations, just say, hey, I got a little boy, he's, probably a size 6. Can you have a jacket for him?
Exactly. And I truly believe that, and like, again, I'm sure your all's church and again, ours too, we go out seeking, asking around.
It's like, it's almost like you got to pull teeth. And I'm not saying that you have to give names, but it's like, tell me what someone needs and I'll give it to you and you take care of it. It's like we have to pull teeth to get names at times.
No, I'm not. Again,
or not names, but, people to give to. And
like I said, I'm not, if there is an agenda behind then, or a curriculum behind it, then we need to take a hard look at that. But again, I feel like too, if the community was working somehow together with the school system to know, then there wouldn't be a need for it. I truly don't believe that.
Okay.
Not here.
So here we go. Final question. The toughest of all. Why should I vote for Jared Alt for Board of Education? Go ahead. Tell the people of Grant County why you.
Again, I'm a citizen running for political office. I'm not a politician. And I say that because I could sit here and make myself sound good, build myself up, or even run a smear campaign and try to tear down the current administration. Or I could try to, or buy your vote or win your vote today. I've had a lot of businesses, a lot of people reach out randomly for their showing their support, and I appreciate that. But I don't go soliciting to be something I'm not. I grew up in Maysville. I've told it before. I was born and raised here, and I plan to live and die here. This is where my child, who's coming, Daniel's supposed to be born in June.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. And at the end of the day, I want him to be able to say the same thing. I want to know him to be able to have the same opportunity I had, the same great community I had, and have the opportunity to have just the great upbringing in Grant County like I had. Truly, I do. So,
okay. Jared, thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it. Good luck. May 10th is the election. Remember, you have Milroy District and Grant District that you're running for. Milroy has one person that will be selected. Grant has 2. Or other way around.
Yep.
Sorry.
You're fine.
I'm sorry.
You're fine.
Grant has one person that will be selected. Milroy has 2 people that will be selected. So go out, make your voices heard, vote May 10th. And remember to like, subscribe, follow, explore Grant County for more coverage. And thank you for tuning in.
Hello, I'm Skip Yolberg, Chief Executive Officer of Grant Memorial Hospital.
We are excited to serve you with our newly renovated private inpatient rooms, comprehensive rehabilitation services, state-of-the-art imaging suite including 3D mammography, the only mother-infant care center in the Potomac Highland region, specialized clinics such as orthopedics and general surgery, and now our new infusion and cancer center in partnership with WVU Cancer Institute. To all our friends, thank you for choosing Grant Memorial Hospital.